Good people sometimes do bad things when placed in the right situation.
Or the wrong situation, or the right.
Right situation, wrong situation.
I'm Bob Safaya.
I'm DJ Quarles.
And today we're going to talk about one of the principles that we operate by.
Honesty. Everyone, if you ask someone if they're honest, they're gonna tell you that they're honest. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. I'll tell you this, that I got something burned into my brain as a kid that has stuck with me my whole life.
What's that?
It was the first I am statement.
First I am statement.
For me, personally.
Okay.
I am a horrible liar. Where did I get that from? My mother. Every single time she would catch me in a lie when I was a kid. She'd be like, "You're a horrible liar. Why do you even try to lie to me? I can always tell you're lying. You're a horrible liar." So now, even if I attempt to do a little white lie, I get squirrely and I'm like, I'm a horrible liar.
Yeah. So
that it's funny that moment in my life, or those moments with my mom, she brought me that's still embedded and burned into my brain, and it's helped me. So
it's like, going back to the statement that we led with, good people sometimes do bad things when placed in the right, wrong, whichever verbiage you want to use, situation. I don't think, there are bad people out there, but I like to generally think that people want to do good. People want they want to be honest. And when placed in that situation, for example, a real estate agent, I firmly believe that a real estate agent on the other side of a transaction, their intentions are most of the time good. And at the same time, how many times have we been on the other side of a transaction or been in a transaction, and there's that little window or that little fork in the road, really, where someone has to make a decision on making a little, like you said, a little white lie, and sometimes it's even just owning up to a mistake or taking a different route.
Let's pause there for a second, though. Like, are you talking about like in a negotiation, or are you talking about what piece of that specifically are you talking about? And is something you say in a negotiation? Because I know people have said stuff to me before that isn't true. Maybe, I don't know. But is that when you're working for someone, and your loyalty, you have to be loyal to that person, right? Like, you're a fiduciary, and you're getting your person what you want, what they want, or what they hired you to get them. Where's the line there? Is there a line?
You hear people say sometimes, like, leaving out parts of the truth. Oh, I didn't lie. I just didn't tell the whole truth. Right? And it's like
I might be guilty of that one.
What we're talking about today, man.
Yeah, I might be guilty of that one because I leave a lot of stuff out.
And sometimes
I leave a lot of stuff out. There's a lot of stuff I leave out. I'm good at leaving stuff out.
Yeah.
I'm good at zipping my lips, and I'm good at not giving all the information. I'm going to practice that.
Yeah.
But is that a lie?
Who determines it?
I don't know.
Who makes that decision? But it's a touchy topic. It's a thing. We all want to be honest, and we all want to do the right thing for the most part. I feel that way about people.
I do too. That's funny you say that. The way you say it, and that's probably why we get along. Because there's so many people out there. Like, I've been a victim of people like thinking that I'm doing something dishonest. Like, I've been a victim of that. Like when, maybe I got a listing that was their family members, or, they fired an agent and hired me, or, their listing expired. And the people hired me. And, all of these instances, like, I've been called names. names, and people have, and that's the one thing that I learned is that not everybody thinks the way you think.
Right.
Okay, like I'm going to start off with everybody having a clean slate and everybody's being honest. Everybody wants to do the right thing. Everybody wants to be honest, and everybody wants to do the best. Like, that's what they are. But then there's that percentage of the world, and I don't know what the percentage, but it's a big percentage of the world that their mind instantly goes to, that person's dishonest, that person's cheating, that person's, maybe it was because they didn't want to put in the work, but that's how they've processed it in their mind to not have to change what they're doing. They say, okay, this person's breaking the rules, this person is cheating, this person is lying.
It makes me think about a little bit about empathy too. Because a lot of what makes me think about empathy is because a lot of times what we see is, people go directly to that, oh, Bob's being dishonest, Bob was trying to cheat me, whatever they say. When really, like, if you just took a second and put yourself in perspective, right? Like, it's a dangerous place to go sometimes, but when you think about it, it's like, yo, that person on the other end, we don't know what they got going on. One thing that we don't know is they may think that they're 100% right. Based off of the information that they have and the things that, like, their story, right? We all have a story, so they're just thinking people aren't, rather than always going to that place of, oh, this person's trying to screw me over or they're lying to me. Yeah, there are some situations like people will blatantly just be dishonest. And there's also,
those people.
There's also times
I know a few of those people.
Yeah.
And they probably won't, they might see this, but they won't see it on my Facebook page because they're blocked. If anybody sees this video and you can't see me on Facebook, I am on Facebook still, and you're blocked.
Yeah.
Because you're dishonest.
Being dishonest. Intentionally being dishonest.
Intentionally being dishonest.
Intentionally being
dishonest. I always
dishonest.
think about that. Like, imagine living your life like that.
How?
Like, you told a lie to get through a situation, and then another situation comes up, and you got to remember that lie you told over here.
Man,
and then you got to backtrack, and you got to go, wait, what did I tell this person? What did I tell them? It makes me a nervous wreck thinking about how some people have to live.
Thinking about the amount of information that we have access to today, like our phones. I mean, you have access to the entire world. Trying to remember a little white lie that I told someone or that was said, like, I couldn't even imagine being in that place.
It's funny you said that right there, because there used to, and I forget what it was called, but back in my youth, before Google was around, maybe like the 90s, mid-90s, there was like, people would tell stories, like, example, they look at the stars and they say, okay, that's the North Star.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's no one to check that. Fact check them. Right?
Yeah.
There was called something. I can't remember what it was called. But people would do that. You sit around a campfire and you tell these stories. People would tell these stories about, like, everything they know. And they would tell you the story like they knew it. And some people were really, really good at that. Like, telling these stories because no one could Google it and say, oh, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that's probably that they did it with everything, sports and
I heard that recently. Like, I heard something that goes along those lines of don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
That's really good.
Right. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. And I mean, I think it's one of those things where, we've all done it too, though. I think that I can, by principle, honesty is a principle that we live by. And again, like that statement of good people sometimes will do bad things when placed in a certain situation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't always think that people have bad intentions. Sometimes it's the situation that someone's placed in.
It's almost like when you say it that way, it's like we're giving them a pass because they are good people. But I almost feel like they believe themselves the dishonesty. Like, they've made that dishonest item or thing or whatever the activity is, they've made this place in their mind that it's okay. Yeah. And that they're not being dishonest or they're doing the right thing. I guess. I don't know.
It's tough, man.
I don't know.
Because, when you live in it, Like we've all done things that someone else can consider dishonest.
Yeah.
And we've all done things that we probably ourselves are like, man, I did something dishonest right there. Like, I own that, right? And it's just like, I think it's one of those things where none of us are perfect. Nobody's perfect. And at the same time, when you have a principle and it's like one of your guiding, it's like something that guides you. You know, you move in that direction at all times. It's a law that you live by.
It's a law. It's a law that
you
follow.
Yes.
It's like you don't have a choice to deviate from it because it's the principle.
Yeah. So it's like, I just think about it like that. It's like honesty is something that you live by. You know, are there times where someone might tiptoe the line? Is there a time where you can? Is it honesty black and white thing, or is there a little gray area in there?
Because if you believe it's true, it?
If you really believe it's true,
I'm gonna go back to my mom because that's guided me. I didn't know that was a principle created by my mother in my life.
I like it.
But I don't lie.
Okay.
And maybe that's not all honesty encompasses, but in my heart, that's where that principle, like everything goes around it. So if an example, let's make an example of something that someone could be in the right or wrong situation. A good person.
Mm-hmm.
Good person's in this situation, and this presents itself, and in their mind they think that they're doing the right thing, but really it's not honest.
It's tough, man. And it's think about not people. Everyone might not agree. There's gonna be people that are strong. They have strong opinions that are thinking like, oh, this is just the way it is. And at the same time, when you really step back and think about all the situations that you've been in, you just think about all the situations that you've been in, and it's a tough one.
Man,
it's tough to stay. It's tough to.
I'd love to get. I wish if this was live and we had some input or feedback and some conversation on this. I mean, this is a good conversation.
Yes, it is.
It's a really good conversation, and I think it's ongoing. But I mean, my thought is, you go with your heart. You go with your heart.
I like that.
I know when something's wrong or something's right, right? And sometimes what's right is not easy. It's not easy to do the right thing. And it's more work to do the right thing. I think that's where a lot of people mess up with their honesty. When you come to the honesty piece, that's where a lot of people mess up, is that they're just trying to take the easy route. It doesn't, in maybe that honesty doesn't, it's being honest to yourself. It's being honest to yourself.
That's a big one.
It's being honest to yourself, and when you know that there's this shortcut or there's a way that you can compound the results by doing something that's not right, it's a shortcut. And you tell yourself, you convince yourself that that's okay. That's not honest. You're lying to yourself. It might not affect another person in the world.
You're lying to yourself.
Lying to yourself.
Two things you said right there, really, really big things. Like one is like with being honest to yourself. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Being honest with yourself. Like, it asks the question, I think about that question of like, how would the person that I want to be handle the things that I'm about to do? And being honest with yourself, right? Like, okay, somebody says that they want something. Like, do I really want that? Like, am I really, okay? How many people will say that, I've heard people that say things like, yeah, I exercise, or let's get to one that's personal. It's like, yeah, I exercise. You eat good? Yeah, I eat good. Yeah, I exercise. Like, you can tell, hey, I'm believing, like, hey, man, you're fit. You look like you exercise. But in your head, you know that, man, I only work out once a week, and I just, something like that.
Or they lost a bunch of weight, and they said that, or they didn't lose weight, and they say that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, there's a lot of that stuff. Man.
There's just a lot of things that people go, that honesty is really...
And I'm so grateful to be able to have these conversations with you. I mean, and I feel like that's the biggest goal of us doing this, right? Is being able to share this with other people, whether someone watches it or they don't, or listens to it or they don't. But I feel like if this impacts you in any way, or any of the stuff that we've been, the path that we've been on, if it inspires you, if it gives you some type of feeling, if you totally disagree, whatever it is, if you could just reach out to us, throw it in the comments, or text us or call us or whatever, and give us some feedback, that would be awesome. Or if you want to be part of the conversation, because I feel like we could have some different, we spend a lot of time together, right? Like bringing people in that we don't spend as much time with, that would be great.
We'd honestly appreciate it.
Honestly. That's great. Well, anything else, man?
No. Hope that you guys enjoyed. Hope that you got something good from it. Hope that you, if you watch this far into the video, know that time is one of the most important thing that you could give to someone. So we appreciate you for sticking it out with us. Till next time.
Till next time.
Peace.